बीहड़ में बागी होते हैं, डकैत मिलते हैं पार्लियामेंट में।
Okay, so let me play a rapid fire question answer round with you. Number 1. How much money do you think the Indian government is spending on a project called as Central Vista? The answer is 1300 crores. Question number 2. How much value do you think this project is going to add to your life? The answer is close to 0. Question number 3. Look at this picture. Tell me why our president looks so happy. He looks elated. Why? Guess the reason why. The answer is that he is getting increased budget to run his office. Can you guess the number? Okay, I'll not give the answer here. Please comment below what that number is, and do you think that this much money is required to run a president's office? Now there is a method behind this madness. Why I have asked you these specific questions? Because on today's video, I am going to tell you how your government actually plans on keeping you perennially poor. That's it. That's what they are trying to do. I will do a fact-based analysis. This is not a political rant. I'm not a political person. I don't care. Modi ji can go to Canada. He can go to Japan. Wherever he wants to travel, he can do it. Rahul Gandhi can go and settle in Italy, eat all the pizza he wants. I don't care. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal can live in Pitampura or Patiala. I don't care. What I care about is that am I getting adequate services in context to the taxes that I pay to the government? The short answer is no, and I will show you on this video that despite paying so much tax, do not end up getting the level of services that you deserve. So as a rational Indian, please like and comment on this video so that it gets some traction. Hopefully it brings 1% change in our country and improves the quality of life that we currently live. There are 3 specific ways in which our government will perennially keep us poor. Now here is a chart for you that shows you categorically that how the debt in the world is going up decade by decade by decade by decade, right? There has been no single decade when the world's debt has come down. Point 1. Do you think that this is a worrisome sign? Please comment yes or no. The answer is yes. It is a very worrisome sign. 2. Do you think that the governments in the world will have to repay this debt at some stage or juncture? The answer is again yes. Now, how do you think that governments will actually repay this debt? Now, essentially, there are 2 ways in which they can repay this debt. The first is that, hey, you know what? Governments can become magically very efficient. They will figure out ways to make more money and then they will pay off the debt that they have already taken. Now, we are wasting 1300 crores building Central Vista. I don't know what we will do with that. We are building elephant parks and elephant statues somewhere in Noida and wasting thousands of crores. We are increasing the office expenses of the president. And you know what? Here is the funny part. Do you know that if an MP, MLA ever gets elected, even once, they get pension for life? I am not kidding. Go check this up. This is actually a fact. Who pays for this pension? It's you and me. I know that I am smiling and this is a very serious topic, but there is nothing else that we can do as common citizen. The very important point here is that expecting our governments to become more rational and becoming more cost effective and business oriented is a very difficult task because government is not literally spending its own money. They are custodians of our money and they will do whatever they want to do. They will cut expenses that can actually add value to your own life. Then you will say, Akshat, how is that happening? Okay, look at the recruitment for government jobs. Tell me whether the number of posts that are there on an average in terms of government jobs, have they been going up or down? They have actually been going down. Here is the number of vacancies for UPSC. It has on an average been going down. So even as common citizens, you can't take benefit out of these posts because our government is engaging on more and more wasteful expenses that could have in turn been channeled to some other useful productive things. So, expecting our governments to become effective in terms of spending and making money to repay this debt is a far-fetched dream, right? So, this brings us to the second option, which is that the governments will repay the debt by increasing more and more taxes. Now, you will say, hey, Akshat, you know what? You are just going on a rant, criticizing everyone. You are probably a madman. No, I am not. Here is a graph for you. Now, take a look at the highest effective tax rate that Indians are paying. Now, back in 2014, this highest tax effective rate was 33.99. In 2016, 2018, this grew up to be around 35. We are in 2020. Now, our highest effective tax rate is approximately 43%. Okay. Our highest tax rate, I'll repeat it again. Our highest effective tax rate is 43%. That is the personal highest effective tax rate. Now, the worrisome sign is that this trend line has been going up and up and up. Now, by the time we hit 2040, 2050, what do you think this tax rate would be? Would it come down? I don't think so. Now, you would say that, hey, Akshat, you know what? In India, there is so much problem and our government needs money. So therefore they are charging the rich. What's wrong with that? In fact, if you take a look at countries like Canada, or if you take a look at Nordic countries, the tax rate is like 50%. So what's wrong with like charging 43%? Now here is a very important history lesson for you that helps you understand that why the governments were created in the first place. Now the concept of governance is somewhat derived from the social contract theory by Thomas Hobbes. Now let me give you high level details of this theory. So the theory goes something like this. Thomas Hobbes says that, you know what, if the governments were not there, there would be jungle raj, right? For example, people will be fighting with each other. People would have a very brutish, short life. They will kill each other if there are no laws and society and governance. So therefore, it was very important for all citizens to come together, pass on a part of their freedom to a higher sovereign authority called as the government. You would have to pay taxes for all the protection, laws, etc. that the government is engaging in, and especially around like common pool of things. For example, these days we find out roads are not built, you can't move from point A to point B. Therefore, the government should collect tax to build a road.
So these Nordic countries, they charge high tax, no doubt about that. But the return on tax or the facilities that you're getting is also very, very high. Majority of these countries offer aspects like free healthcare. They offer very strong social security services and a bunch of different facilities, be it like everyday living, clean water, utility services. So all these are top notch, and that somewhat justifies the high taxes that these countries are charging.
Now this argument sounds great in theory. Now that was probably why democracies were created. But unfortunately, many of these democracies turned into kleptocracies. Now Greeks are very funny people. Now they gave a very rational word to defunct democracies, so to say, and they called them kleptocracies. So kleptocracies essentially means that these are governments that actually pilferage resources from their people, and people in the government become richer and richer. So that is what a kleptocratic society looks like. You might have heard of Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe. He literally destroyed the entire country because of his thievery. So that is what some countries become. Now I'm talking about Zimbabwe, which is on the extreme right hand side of the equation, that there was a blatant president who literally abused all his power to steal from his own country. Now in India, we are not in that extreme situation yet. But there are a lot of things that are wrong in our country as well. I'll give you a few examples that how we have displayed the traits of being a kleptocratic democracy as well. You might have heard of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi. You might have heard of 2G scam, 3G scam, coal scam. So many different scams have run. You might have heard of the fact that Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, bunch of other willful defaulters have taken crores and crores of loan and have run away to UK and some exotic European and Caribbean countries, and they are living their life merrily there. Do you really think that our governments do not have the power to bring these people back? They can if they simply have the will, but they simply do not have the will. Now let me ask you a counter question here, and it's a very logical question to ask. Have you stolen 100 rupees or have you defunct on a loan of 100 rupees ever in your life? I have not. If I take 100 rupees loan from a bank, the bank people will call me, they will eat my head, they will file so many cases if I am not returning their money that my head will spin. If you are a common villager in India and if you don't pay your loan, bank people will come, they will take your cow and take it away and sell it and somehow recoup their money. And here we have Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, who have taken crores and crores and crores and have run away to a different exotic location, and our government is unable to bring them back. These are actually the telltale signs of a kleptocratic democracy. Alright, so this brings us to the final section, that what is it that you can do as a common citizen of India. So first and foremost, you can like and support such videos and share it with your friends. This was not a political rant. I'm actually backing it up things by giving you actual palpable facts that I hope you would appreciate and not take it as a political discussion. That is the first and the most basic thing that you can do. Number two, you should not be a crybaby and do not give up on the entire system yet. The more noise you make, the more you will talk about this stuff, the more people you would educate. Hopefully, it will bring little change that will add positive value in our own life. The next time you see all these parliamentarians banging the table and increasing their own salaries, make some noise. Write some articles on LinkedIn, on your blog, shoot some YouTube videos, put it up and ask questions to your government. Number three, you should earn more. This sounds super counterintuitive because you might say that, hey Akshat, if we earn more, we'll have to pay more taxes. Well, tax and death are certain things. We have to pay more. There is nothing that can be done. But if you're super rich and if you're financially educated, you can save a lot of money in terms of finding out legal tax loopholes. Now, I'll not get into a discussion of how you can legally save taxes if you're rich in India, but if you're super rich, then you will have to pay relatively less tax because there are legal loopholes available for you. So try to move into that bracket. That is very important for you. If you give up on the fight and just assume your fate that, hey, you know what, I'm going to stay as a middle class citizen, then guess what? You and your future generations will continue to pay the highest amount of tax that there is to be paid. These are the harsh realities. I hope you enjoyed the video. So get financially educated, try to get into a higher income bucket class, make some noise when certain bad decisions are taken, be it creating new Central Vista or installing crores worth of idol of some animals in some park in Noida. Please take a stand on these things and support such videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you the next time.